So in this video, we're going to look at the On Mars upgrade pack. And in this upgrade pack, we're going to look at the rules for how the components work, and then we're going to see if we can get all these components to fit back in the box. Also, if you've missed any of my other On Mars how to play content, you can find links to those videos down in the description. With that said, let's jump in. So if we look at the On Mars upgrade pack, on the top we have our rules for the upgrade pack. We have our mini private goals expansion, our new Earth contract cards, and then our blueprint display. So what the mini private goal expansion adds to the game is a small deck of 6 cards. And you'll see that these cards are a different color than the private goals that come with the base game. The way that these cards get used is at the beginning of the game, you still shuffle and deal 3 of the base game private goals to each player, but then you shuffle these 6 cards and deal 1 additional private goal to each player. So each player has 4 private goals now that they can look at during the game. They can still only complete 1 of these private goals, but this gives them 1 more option and then also provides another card that they can substitute for a crystal during the game if they so choose. And as you might have expected, these private goal cards provide a little different option to complete during the game. Each one of these cards is going to show a tactile grid. Level 1 is on your left-hand side, level 6 is on the right. The highlighted spaces mean if you get tactiles in those highlighted spaces, you complete this private goal and earn the OP as shown over here. So at any time during the game, if I have tactiles in these 3 spaces in level 2, 1 in level 4 at the top, and 1 in level 5 at the top, I can flip this card over and collect 9 OP, moving my OP marker 9 spaces. Again, that would be the only private goal that I could complete during the game. And you'll see that each of these cards has different spaces highlighted that you must get your tactiles into to achieve the 9 points. So now moving on from the mini private goals, let's look at the new Earth contracts. So the way these new Earth contracts work is at the beginning of the game, you sort these new Earth contracts into 2 piles, orange and green like you see here. And then I'm going to add the piles from the base game. And what you do then is at the start of the game, you select 2 of these piles randomly and then add these to the scientist/Earth contracts board. Also, as a group, you could decide on which 2 piles you want to play with. So let's look at these new Earth contracts. We'll start with the orange ones, and these are complex control contracts. And you'll see in order to fulfill this contract, if you have 2 advanced buildings on a complex of 3 or more buildings of the type shown, at the end of the game you get 12 OP. If you don't, then you lose 6 OP. And you'll see that all of these cards are similar. Each one is just of a different building type. The other type of new contracts are the green contracts, and these are blueprint contracts. And so the way these work is at the end of the game, if you have 3 or more of the same type of blueprint, you'll earn the 9 OP shown here, or subtract 4 OP if you don't meet that requirement. Now you just have to have blueprint cards. It doesn't matter whether or not the advanced building has been placed on the board or not. There's 1 of these Earth contract cards for each building type. Now it's time to move on to something that's really not like a game changer or an expansion, it's just more of an organization tool, and that's this new blueprint display. So with this blueprint display, you place this on one side of your board, and you can take the cards that you'd normally lay directly on the table and make your blueprint display up here on the board itself. Now a couple things that are handy about this is it's got a designated spot for your blueprints. And then it shows you when the colony level is at level 1, you're going to place 6 level 1 blueprints down in this section of the display. When the colony level advances to level 2, then you discard the level 1 blueprints and refill this display with the remaining level 1, and then put the level 3 blueprints on the top. When the colony level advances to 3, discard all remaining level 1 blueprints, and then fill with the remaining level 3 blueprints. One thing I'll say is this board keeps things a lot more organized on the table. However, the drawback to this is you need a lot of table space. And that's one thing that you'll just have to decide based on your table space available. Use it if you can. Now that you've seen everything in the upgrade pack and know how it works, let's see if you can fit all that stuff back in the box. There's nothing more annoying than having a poly bag with extra parts and pieces that you have to sneak between your boxes on your shelf. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to see if my new Earth contract cards can get added to this spot, and there's plenty of room. You could actually even add a few more cards to that. And I can add my expansion private goals here with the same result, so plenty of room for those. Now I'm going to add my board to the top of all of this. And when I do that, it's going to just barely clear. So I should be able to get my box top to fully seat on this box. And beautiful. So now that you know how the upgrade pack works, it's time to learn how to play on Mars. That is, if you don't know how to play already. So you can click the link on this end screen, and I'm going to show you the overview of the game in the first video. The video after that is how the actions work. So I really hope to see you there, and we'll learn the game together. Take care.